All right, let's get straight to it. Think of this as your urgent market intelligence briefing. The next huge disruption, it isn't somewhere off on the horizon. It's already here, and it's fundamentally changing the way humans and computers interact. We're talking about the brain tech war.
And no, that's not some kind of exaggeration. Just let that sink in for a second. This is the core idea we're digging into today. The main tool you've used for digital communication your entire life is on its way to becoming a relic. That's the scale of the shift we're looking at.
And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi fantasy either. The projected tipping point is just around the corner, 2026. We're operating inside a 2-year window, maybe less, where market leaders are going to be decided and those first-mover advantages get locked in. So the time for just watching? That's over. It's time to make moves.
So who's actually in the ring here? Well, 3 giants have stepped up, and you know what? Each one has a completely different game plan for how they're going to win this market. Understanding their approaches is absolutely critical to seeing the whole investment landscape. First up, you've got Neuralink. They're taking the most direct path. You could call it high risk, high reward. Their play is an invasive brain chip, and it's built for one thing: the highest possible bandwidth, giving users unbelievable speed. The goal here isn't just to replace a keyboard. It's about creating a whole new class of elite professionals. Think traders, surgeons, designers, all operating, literally, at the speed of thought. Then, in the other corner, you have Meta. They're fighting back with a totally non-invasive strategy. They've got this neural wristband that reads muscle signals, so it figures out what you want to do without ever breaking the skin. This approach dramatically lowers the barrier to entry, right? It makes it less scary, more accessible. They're aiming for mass adoption, trying to build a massive user base and a data network that no one can compete with. And of course, there's Apple. Their strategy is exactly what you'd expect. It's the classic Apple playbook. It's a seamless ecosystem play. Their entry point is the Vision Pro 2, which, our source suggests, is going to track your thoughts to open apps before you can even blink. It's not a chip or a band, it's a peripheral that perfectly leverages their huge, locked-in user base. They're trying to make brain interface feel like just another easy software update. Okay, so let's put these technologies head-to-head for a second. A direct comparison is so important because this is where you really see the investment thesis for each company take shape. This is where their strengths and, yeah, their potential weaknesses really come into focus. So what does this table really tell us? It boils down the strategic bet each of these giants is making. Neuralink is betting on a new class of power users, people willing to go invasive for unmatched performance. Meta is betting on sheer numbers, on network effects driven by accessibility for the masses. And Apple is betting its ecosystem is so powerful, so sticky, that you won't even notice you've started controlling things with your mind. Okay, but this isn't just about strategy docs and fancy tech demos anymore. We're already seeing tangible market data, real signals that prove this is no longer some speculative future. This is happening right now with real consumer demand. Just look at this number. This isn't theoretical. We're talking over 100,000 people have already signed up for Neuralink's trials alone. Think about that. This isn't some focus group. This is hard evidence of serious early consumer appetite. The demand isn't something we have to forecast. It's already here, and it's actively speeding up that 2026 timeline. Now, with any game changer this big, you know there are going to be huge risks. So if you're thinking of putting capital in this space, your due diligence has to zero in on the massive regulatory and ethical hurdles that are dead ahead. And it all really centers on user data. Which brings us to the one central question that's going to define this whole competition. Is your brain data safe? When the product is literally thought itself, the stakes for security and privacy become absolutely monumental. This is probably the single biggest risk factor you'll have to underwrite. So when we talk about this risk, what are we really talking about? Well, it pretty much splits into 3 buckets. First, there's the raw technical challenge. Can you actually keep brain data safe from hackers? Second, there's the legal side, that wave of regulation that's definitely coming and will set the rules of the game. And third, you get into the really deep ethical stuff, the profound questions about where the human ends and the machine begins. All right, so let's pull all this together. As we look ahead to this next strategic frontier, the battle lines are clearly drawn. The core technologies are in play, and the market is showing undeniable signs of life. The groundwork has been laid. And this is really the moment we're in, isn't it? That fundamental line between human and machine, it's not just fading, it's being actively erased. So the question for everyone evaluating this space is no longer if this is going to happen, but on which platform it will all be built. Where are you going to place your bets?
So yeah, make no mistake, the brain tech war is on. Today's briefing was built on intelligence from CollabGenerate, and they're the ones to follow for ongoing analysis as all this unfolds. And that's our briefing.